Welcome back. This is Dusty Quick, the road to history. Standing at 4-1, the Fort Morgan Mustangs began the second half of this 2000 season on October 6th at home against the Windsor Wizards. Simply said, this would turn out to be the game of the year. Unfortunately for the Mustangs, they continued that disturbing trend of poor starts and in fact were behind by double digits at halftime, 13-0. Under the leadership of quarterback Matt Hernandez, Fort Morgan got back into the game and drew to within one when they turned to their best player early in the fourth.
Back here, 13-12 Windsor Mustangs driving to the 30. Dusty Quick with a handoff to the outside of the 20. He's trying to get to the 10. He's at the 5. Dusty is going to score! Touchdown, Fort Morgan! Quick has done it again! Holy mahungus! And the Mustangs lead 18-13.
A subsequent two-point conversion increased their cushion to 7 points, but they won by just one, 20-19, with Eric Nickel making a huge tackle on Windsor quarterback Todd Krakus as Windsor attempted a potential game-winning two-point conversion. While Dusty did score once and gained 175 yards, it was the first time since the season's second game that he did not score at least twice and rush for over 200 yards. Nonetheless, Quick and the rest of the Mustang squad did just enough to move their record to 5-1. October 13th, 2000, Fort Morgan at Niwot. With Quick now established as one of the state's best running backs, it was time to start making him into one of the state's top receiving backs as he displayed on a key play in the red zone.
Hernandez. Back to pass, pressure up the middle, rolling right, he flush, he throws it out, caught by Dusty Quick at the 10, he spins to the 5, he's at the 3, he scores! A touchdown for Dusty Quick as Matt Hernandez evaded the pressure. And the Mustangs have taken a 6-0 lead with 9:26 to go in the first.
Dusty, however, doesn't totally feel at home unless he can begin his gallop from behind the line of scrimmage.
Fort Morgan 2nd and 12 in their own 43. Brandon Quick to the left, Chris Lebstock to the right. The lone setback is Dusty, who gets the football running left across the 45, breaks the tackle to 50, and now watch territory to the 40. He's down the sideline to the 30. He cuts inside of the 25. He breaks to the 20, the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Dusty! Unbelievable one! Holy mahungus, the Mustangs! Another one bites the dust. 12-3, and another one does bite the dust.
By halftime, the Mustangs still led, but only by a slim 14-10 margin. With Fort Morgan holding a speed advantage, they decided to extend the lead quickly in the third.
The Mustangs want to control the football and only take it to the outside when Dusty has it, because that means that he's usually out racing people, and now he sweeps it left side, and a huge hold of the 50. He's at the 40, trying to outrun the Niwot defense to the 30, cuts it back inside of the 20. Goodbye, Dusty Quick! Hello, touchdown! 55 yards, and the Mustangs lead 20-10.
Fort Morgan's defense tightened up after that as the Mustangs never looked back in a resounding 28-10 win. Although Quick did not have one of his top efforts statistically of the season with 188 yards on 26 carries, he might have done his best running with those two incredible touchdowns. On top of that, Quick did surpass the 3,000-yard rushing mark in his career. October 20th, 2000, Fort Morgan versus Alameda. Normally, Dusty waits until at least the first play from scrimmage to get to the land of no hash marks, but on this night, he was pretty impatient.
Anderson with a high end-over-end kick, a beauty. It's taken by Dusty Quick at the 6-yard line, running straight ahead to the 15, 20. He's got a seam to the outside. He's got the sideline to the 40, into the 50-yard line, across the field to the 45. He might break it all the way to the 40. Dusty's got nobody in front of him. Just Green. He's at the 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Dusty Quick. 94 yards on the opening kickoff. And the Mustangs lead 6-0. Holy mahungus!
The Mustang defense then made it 3 and out, giving the offense their first play from scrimmage deep in its own territory. No way they could score right off the bat again, right?
Quick is in the backfield along with Shield for the 19-yard line. The deep handoff to Dusty. He's got a big hole through the middle, takes it to the left side of the 20, 25, 30, first down to the 40, into the secondary to the 50. He's going to go all the way to the 30. Dusty Quick, he's going to score! 81 yards! And the Mustangs lead 12-0. How easy can it get for Fort Morgan tonight as Dusty holds his hands on his hips and the Mustangs already with a big lead with 9:46 to go in the first.
While Fort Morgan's defensive unit was still doing the job, Dusty was executing his.
The clock continues to tick. Mustangs hanging on to this football for nearly 5 minutes. Hernandez, third and goal. Hand off to Dusty. Takes it to the outside of the 5. And he's in as he dives across the goal line. And Fort Morgan has taken a 28-0 lead. He got by one man on the left side, and it was smooth sailing. And the Mustangs on their way to the 7th victory of the season.
Without a 4-touchdown game yet during the 2000 campaign, Quick felt now was the time to score number 4.
Now with the ball at the 22-yard line. Hernandez pitch right to Dusty. He'll fake the reverse, take it to the right to the 20. Outside of the 15 to the 10. He's going to score a touchdown! And the Mustangs lead 34-0. Dusty Quick has done it once again as the route is on in Fort Morgan.
A 35-0 shutout proved to be their first of the season as Quick got back into the 200-plus yard column with 216 yards. Fort Morgan was 7-1 and just one win away from clinching their third straight Tri-Valley Conference title. October 27, 2000, Fort Morgan versus Valley. When you're going for a championship of any kind, you need a great game from your best player. And that's what the Mustangs got from Dusty.
Triple set backfield. Hernandez to hand it off to Dusty. Dances in the backfield. He flips a tackle. He's in for a touchdown. Oh, Dusty faked everybody out of their jock trot there. And the Mustangs lead 6-0 with 2:37 remaining in the opening quarter. Dusty running right to the 45. He's got a big hold of the 50. Flips a tackle 45. Cuts across the field to the 40. Flips another one to the 35. The 30. He gets a block at the 25. And he's gone as he looks back at the 5. A touchdown for Dusty Quick. 59 yards, and the Mustangs have a 13-0 advantage. Holy mahungus. 3 men in the backfield. Hernandez to hand it off to Dusty through the left side. Breaks a tackle. Back to the middle. Touchdown, Fort Morgan. He made it look easy once again. Fort Morgan leads 20-0 on the strength of 3 touchdowns by Dusty Quick. Dusty will get the handoff, running left to the 40, swings it to the inside, 35, 30, back across the field to the 20. He might go all the way to the 10. He got the 5. He did it. Touchdown. Dusty Quick on the last play of the first half has weaved his way through traffic, and the Mustangs lead 27-0, and this time it is holy mahunga. Second down, 11 from their own 25. A pitch left to Dusty, swinging it to the left side to the 30-yard line, out to the 35, breaks the tackle at the 40, in the clear at the 50, running to the 40, all the way to the 20. Goodbye, Dusty Quick. You scored touchdown number 5 of the night. And Fort Morgan leads 34-0. He's closing in on 300 yards.
Those 5 touchdowns set a new career high to go along with a personal best of 291 yards in a 35-14 win. Even though Quick had played just 23 games in a career that still had plenty to go, he already totaled 52 touchdowns. November 3rd, 2000, Fort Morgan at Berthoud. Having found the end zone 2 weeks ago on a kickoff return against Alameda, Dusty was vying for his first on a punt return.
Still awaiting the snap here is Devin Olson, and he's got it. Perfect snap. And that's a low line drive wobbly punt. It'll bounce at the 30-yard line. Dusty fields it at the 28. He runs into his own man at the 25, down to the 30, the 35, the 40. He might break it all the way to the 50, down to the 40. Dusty outrunning a man to the 20. He's to the 10. He's got a touchdown, Dusty Quick. I mean, that one looked like it had no chance. 72 yards, and the Mustangs lead 13-0.
In a regular season full of long touchdowns, Quick was just as determined to keep that going in the conference finale.
Second down and 8. Fort Morgan from their own 26. The handoff to Quick, right up the gut to the 30. Big hole to the outside, 35-40. He's in the clear at the 50. Nobody will catch it at the 30. To the 20. Goodbye, Dusty Quick. You've done it again. It's another Fort Morgan touchdown, and they lead 27-0. He shot through there like a bullet.
Throughout the course of the season, Quick had attempted to throw a touchdown pass, but came up short for one reason or another until now.
Hernandez looking over the defense, pitch right to Dusty. He wants to throw the football. Wide open is left side. He's going to catch the football at the 45, to the 40, corner out race to the front of the 20. He's the 15, the 10, 5. Touchdown for the Mustangs! And they lead 34-0. It finally worked for Fort Morgan, 84 yards.
Fort Morgan won the game comfortably, 54-28, as Dusty, along with Brett Shield and many more Mustangs, got involved in the scoring. After rushing for 277 yards in this one, Quick was at a gargantuan 2,128 yards and 27 touchdowns for the season. When we come back on Dusty Quick, the road to history, the 2000 postseason. You're listening to Dusty Quick, the road to history. With the 2000 playoffs approaching, head coach Rick Call knew that in order for his team to be successful, it would take a lot more than just Dusty Quick. But it was still comforting to the coach that he had such a special talent who was the consummate team player.
Dusty is up there with the best of them. I mean, there's not much you can say about his ability. I mean, all you have to do is watch him on the field. I think he has as good a vision. I mean, it's almost like he sees what's going on not only beside him but behind him. He's got a really good feel for the game, and he's the kind of kid that can cut on a dime. I mean, he can go from a stop position to full speed in just no time at all. But he's a quality back, and you just don't see many backs of his ability. He's just a kid that the more carries he has, the better he gets. I mean, you can watch his game films, and some of the things he does on film just amaze you, So, he's definitely getting better. He's a kid that we need to keep healthy, because he's a big part of our offense. And I know even though the individual stats that he has, he's the kind of kid that would credit the linemen and everybody else that's involved with his success.
Now it's time to take you to November 11th, 2000 for the opening round of the Class 3A postseason at home against Cheyenne Mountain. Playing on a snow-filled field can sometimes be a detriment to your better athletes. But after the Mustangs relinquished a touchdown on Cheyenne Mountain's first drive, it only seemed to speed up Dusty and slow down everyone else.
A handoff to Dusty running laterally to the left, and he runs into Eric Nickel. He breaks a tackle to the 45. There he goes. Into the secondary to the 40. They won't catch him at the 20. Dusty Quick on the first play from scrimmage for the Mustangs is gone. A touchdown, 62 yards. Fort Morgan trails now 7-6.
Following a Max Morgan field goal, putting the Mustangs ahead, Dusty scampered an even longer distance to extend Fort Morgan's lead.
Draw play to Dusty. Big hole up the middle of the 25 to 30. Into the secondary to the 40. Dusty to the 50. Nobody's going to catch him at the 30. Dusty just chugging to the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Dusty Quick. He's done it once again. 82 yards this time. It's Fort Morgan 16, Cheyenne Mountain 7. Holy mahungus.
If you weren't convinced Dusty was saving his best for the playoffs, just check out this run in the second quarter.
I think they'll give it to Dusty. They will. Looks for a hole to the left. He breaks a tackle. He cuts to the inside the 40. He's now at the 50. In the secondary at the 40. I don't believe this. He's going to do it again at the 15, the 10, the 5 down the sideline. Touchdown. Dusty Quick has done it again. Rick Cobb just jumped about 3 feet off the ground. The Mustangs lead 23-7. This is just incredible in the first half.
With a Fort Morgan defense shutting down the Cheyenne passing game, the offense controlled the clock, moved the ball down the field, and allowed Dusty to score his first touchdown of the game when the ball was actually on the opponent's side of the field.
Hernandez under center has the football and is going to hand it off to Dusty right up the gut with a big hole. He's to the 15, to 10, running it towards the left corner. He scores! Dusty Quick with his fourth touchdown of the game, and the Mustangs have extended their lead to 29-7.
For the first time in his career, Dusty went over 300 yards rushing with 328 on 25 carries as the Mustangs rolled to a 30-14 win. The playoffs is when you separate the men from the boys, and Dusty was the man of all men on this afternoon. November 17th, 2000, 3A quarterfinal, Fort Morgan at Pine Creek. Playing in below freezing temperatures on a Friday night in Colorado Springs, Fort Morgan led by a touchdown in the second quarter when Dusty once again demonstrated how well his body responds to less than ideal conditions.
1st and 10 for Fort Morgan. At the 15-yard line of the Eagles, Baxton and I, lone receiver to the right, a draw play to Dusty, huge hold to the 10, to the 5, he's in easily a touchdown for Fort Morgan, and they've taken a 20-7 lead. That was even easier than a previous touchdown by Matt Hernandez.
With a draw working so well against a defense anticipating a standard handoff, the Mustangs tried it again on their next possession.
On 2nd and 15, Fort Morgan with the football. The Eagle 25 with a back split, lone receiver to the right. And here's the draw play again to Dusty. A big hold of the 20, 15, first down, 10, 5, touchdown! Dusty Quick, he scored again, and Fort Morgan leads 26-7.
When Fort Morgan drove the football deep into Pine Creek territory once again, the coaches knew the Eagle defense might be ready for the draw, so they simply went to a different play.
On 3rd down and goal from the 12. Hernandez back to pass. Here comes pressure, rolling left. He's still going to have to run to avoid it. Throws underneath. Caught by Dusty at the 8. Dusty to the 5. Going for the end zone. He's in. It's a touchdown for Fort Morgan. Dusty's 3rd touchdown of the day.
One more score by the junior tailback would equal his total of a week ago, and Dusty had that chance with a ball at the Pine Creek 20.
Hernandez with a football will hand it off to Dusty, trying to find his seam to the left side. Breaks 2 tackles, a 3rd, still on his feet to the 10. Unbelievable run by Dusty Quick. A 20-yard touchdown run. Fort Morgan leads 40-7. Holy mongus.
2 games, 8 touchdowns, and 538 yards after 210 against the Eagles. Quite the postseason for Dusty Quick. The Mustangs won the game, by the way, 47-21. November 25th, 2000, 3A semifinal, Fort Morgan versus Canyon City. When Dusty doesn't score, that usually equates to a negative result for the Mustangs, which turned out to be the case here. Setting a personal playoff high with 30 carries, Dusty is still productive with 147 yards, but is kept out of the end zone as Canyon City wins 28-7. Quick concludes the 2000 season with 35 touchdowns and 2,813 yards. In 2 seasons, he accumulates 4,531 yards and a whopping 62 touchdowns. When we return on Dusty Quick, the road to history, the first half of Dusty's fabulous 2001 regular season.